Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another recap video. Uh, this this was a very somber weekend for me. Uh, let's see. I was two. I got two out of the three. I got two out of the three games. Or no, what is it? I got two out of my three predictions right. Um, Now this game, unfortunately, Um, unfortunately, this was one I really wish didn't happen. Uh, I don't know what happened. It's like they just kind of came in and just kind of sleptwalked. Like this is a very important game for the Irish. Now at this point, season. I mean, the season's not over. I mean, they're playing for a bowl, but I mean, I don't think they'll even get a New Year's Six bowl. They've fallen too far at this point. Especially this is like a really bad loss. In my opinion, I would not be surprised in the next rankings if you knocked them out of the top 25. I'd have no problem with that because this was a very bad, not very bad, but this is a very underwhelming Clemson team they played, and that first half was just oh my goodness, man, what a mess. Pick six. They just came out like they didn't want to. I don't know what it was. It was. I guess it was just too early in the day. I guess they were looking too far ahead. I don't know what it was. Hartman is getting on my last nerves. He really is. This is just unacceptable. 13 for 30, 146 yards, two interceptions. Absolutely unacceptable. Estime did his thing. He got a touchdown, 87 yards. Um, he did what he was supposed to do. Um, but everything else is very, oh my God. Defense did not come to play today. No one came to play today except for Estimate. Um, I'm kind of at I'm at my last bit of patience with Hartman. I don't know when we're going to get that guy we was expecting to get. Um, I really don't know. I just don't know when is it going to happen anytime soon. There's two games left. I don't know. Is this guy going to show up? Is he going to play like the guy we expected him to be from freaking Wake Forest? The guy that broke, I think, with two school records, passing yards and passing touchdowns. I just don't. I don't know when we're going to get that. There was a comment the announcer make the play by play guy. He was like ever since that like Navy game, he really hasn't really played like to his potential, and that's true. I mean, he played all right against like Tennessee State and Central Michigan, but like those are games where he should really be patting on the stats and really showing what he can do. And he really hasn't done much. He played all right against NC State, and since then he's gotten outplayed by McCord. He got outplayed by um, the guy from Duke. I can't remember his name. He got outplayed by the guy Plummer from Louisville. He got outplayed today by Klubnik. Um, Klubnik didn't have a great game, but he didn't lose the game for him. He did what he was supposed to do. He gave it to that halfback, Maffei. He had 36 carries, 186 yards, two touchdowns. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. They didn't have their starting running back Shipley. He was out, and I thought when I saw that notification, I was like, "Wow, they really have a chance to really make this ugly and put him away." But kudos to them. They stepped up to the challenge. One man down, next man up, and they handled business. Um, Real quick, I'm gonna go through the money, the gambling, and all that for you people out there. I had it at 31-21 Notre Dame. It was 31-23 Clemson, so it's pretty much flip flopped. I had the money line at the time of my last recording. It was at 3 points. Um, I took Notre Dame. Clearly, that was the wrong pick. And the over under at the time of the last recording as well, it was 44 and a half. I took the over, and it was over. So if you know, if you took my advice, at least you got something. If you took the over, you got something. If you took the money line, I'm sorry. The team that didn't show up like they were supposed to. Real quick, let's go ahead and check out Notre Dame's remaining schedule since we're here. Um, let's see. So they have Wake Forest. So pretty much this is Sam Hartman's final home collegiate game, and then they go at Stanford to finish the season. At this point in the season, um, basically we just looking to run the table. We'll have to check tomorrow or Tuesday to see the next round of rankings. But I would not be surprised if they're not in the top 25, or if they are, they're like at the very bottom, like 24, 25. Um, but yeah, they got two more games left, Wake and Stanford. I'm going to save my picks till later in the week, but right now, um, I just hope they handle business the next 2 weeks. I'm not even. I really don't even. I don't even have any. I really don't have much confidence in Sam Hartman now. I just hand that ball to number 7 and get out of the way and just play some good defense and try to finish the season strong. Next game, I knew this was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Maryland and Penn State. Oh my God! Once again, there's another fourth quarter where the I just don't understand what's going on. It just it baffles my mind how they played 3 quarters, two and a half, 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, and then they just kind of, I guess they just run out of gas. They fall apart. They just I don't know what it is. It doesn't make any. Oops, I'm gonna drop my book. I don't know what it is, man. It doesn't make any sense. They've lost 4 straight games now after starting 5-0, and now I'm not surprised by this because this is a yearly occurrence with them. But it's baffling because a lot of these games they were in every game they lost this year. They've been in the game at some point in time, and they just don't finish. I don't know what it is. They just get overwhelmed with the moment. Uh, Talia had 29 to 39, 286, and 2 touchdowns, an interception. That Alar guy from Penn State had an amazing game, 25 to 34, 240, and 4 touchdowns. Um, that is just stupid. Very efficient by that guy. One thing we didn't do today, we didn't run the ball. I think if I read it correctly, we were like negative 49 yards rushing. So that means we didn't do a damn thing on the ground. And unfortunately, that includes sacks. I never like that, how sacks they go against your rushing yard. That's just, I never like that. It's really stupid. But yeah, ended up 51-15. I had it a lot closer. I had it 34 to 24. The money line, I had Penn State at the time of the last recording. It was -8. I took Penn State with the points, and you would have won there, obviously. And then the over-under at the last time was 49.5. I took the over. And yeah, clearly that's over 50 points. So shoot, Penn State had 51 themselves. So yeah, another disappointing game. Unfortunately, unlike the Notre Dame game, I saw this coming. I knew they weren't going to win. I just didn't think it'd be this bad. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and check out Maryland's schedule. I believe they have 3 games left, if I remember correctly off the top of my head. They have Nebraska, Michigan, and Rutgers. Is that right? Let me see. Yep, they got Nebraska, Michigan, and Rutgers left. Um, Real talk. Nebraska's been getting better, and it's in Lincoln. And then you got Michigan, and then you got at Rutgers. Rutgers is now bowl eligible, and they've been playing good. Um, Hell, they're ahead of us in the standings by a game. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna save my picks for later on in the week, and my early thoughts on these games coming up next week. But yeah, this could be a disaster of a season, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Last game, Oregon State and Colorado. I had Oregon State winning. It was a lot closer than I thought it'd be. Um, Sanders was 24, 39, 245, and 2 touchdowns. And once again, it's another game where he's running for his life. There's no running game really. It's non-existent basically. DJ he had an all right game, 12 24, 233, and a touchdown. This kid Martinez he was killing him. Especially that last drive when Colorado needed to stop. He just made it look so easy. He took the ball and ran it for 9 yards on that first play, and that was pretty much the game at that point. Let me go over the points and the spread and all that, and then I'm gonna get into my analysis because there's some stuff in this I want to talk about, and it really is. It just becomes it seems like it's habitual for this team. I had the final score 35-21 Oregon State. It was 26-19. Um, Honestly, it could have went in overtime, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. Um, I had Oregon at the time was, I guess it hadn't changed. The money line was 13.5. I took the money line, but that didn't happen unfortunately. And I took the over under at 62, 62 and a half at the time of the last recording. I took the under, um, and clearly that was the right choice. Um, so yeah, like I said, you would have won a little something. You wouldn't have got the money line, but you would definitely want to get the over under right. So yeah, let me get into. I'm not gonna make this super long because it's just luckily there was other football on, but like this stuff because these are the 3 games I have to focus on each weekend, and it's kind of sickening when you watch it when you watch it live, and it's like every team you're watching is like just it just like it's really bad football, and it just kind of depresses you, especially as a football fan. You watch some of this stuff happen, and it's like this stuff it really it gets on your nerves. It's very bothersome. It's very concerning. Um, but yeah. So one thing I noticed when I was watching this game, I'm not gonna keep getting on the running game. The running game that's just that will not change. That's just it's going to be we're going to have to watch this for 3 more weeks. It is what it is. Um, you kind of hope now. You at this point, you kind of hope they don't get a bowl game, so this season ends, and kind of like a mercy killing. You kind of just want the bleeding to stop. You want to just you kind of just don't want to see this anymore. Um, so there was a few things I noticed. Um, it always seems like they're a really late starting team, and I just do not understand why they have still not figured this out 10 weeks in. They have not started fast since TCU. We're going back 9 weeks at that point. They still have not figured out how to start fast. And if you watch any of the like the well-off media stuff, he's always preaching in practice about start fast, finish fast, tempo, tempo, tempo. They show no tempo. There's no sense of urgency at the beginning of the game. You are the underdog in every freaking game this year. You knew that coming in. You need to come out there with just reckless abandon, like playing like you have nothing to lose. They always play like this. They play like a team that is like they play like they play like they're like a battle tested team. This team is not. They haven't experienced anything. First of all, they haven't won anything, and they haven't really went up against any like really true adversity. You're not facing any real adversity when you're already down 28 points, and then you're trying to roar back and come back. Well, obviously the other team let their foot off the. It's a human nature, man. If you have 28 points, it's natural to relax when you got that big of a lead. It shouldn't happen, but it happens. Clearly, they were on the other side. They've been on both sides of it, and it just does. It blows my mind because if you watch that last like 2 minutes when they really started bumping up the tempo, they were moving the ball like it was nothing. So I don't know why it's a lack of adjustments. What it is, it's a lack of. It's not good coaching. I don't know what it is. He has to come out every week like, hey man, we have no. You got to come out like not saying you have no shot, but you got to come out playing like, hey, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing to lose. Let's go out there, put our best foot forward, and let's go out there and just put it all. Let's put it all on the table. Don't try to hide and try to get cute and everything. I mean, you have no. You first of all, you have no room for error. So you can't do any of that. You need to go out there and play smart, play discipline. What's the thing he always talks about? He said, "I need my guys. It's tough, fast, smart, discipline with character." And it's ironic that there's a lot of times where that mantra does not show up on the field. They've had games where penalties have cost them. They've had games where mental mistakes have cost them. Bad coaching, bad time management. The time management in this game is almost on the level of the end of the USC game. It's just I don't know what in the world they're thinking. Um, there was a point where there was before they kicked off in that last possession where they didn't get the defensive stop. Um, I don't know. They wasted so much time on that drive just to score because at that point it was 26-12. Um, and I guess I got to go back to how this even got to this point. So at one point, um, it was 7-3. You know, the game was very close, very tight. Defense was actually stepping up and playing. Um, the problem is what happened after they got the ball back and they got pinned deep. I don't know in what world would you run multiple passes that don't do anything, and you're going to give the ball right back to the team with time to spare, and they go down and they score a touchdown before the half. Now you got to think about it because they got the opening kickoff back right on the second half. If they had, at a minimum, just run the clock out, they go into the half 7-3. They get the ball back. You have all the momentum at that point. All you got to do is go down. You score even a field goal, right? You start the half off with a field goal. The game's 7-6. You got the crowd rocking. It's only a 1 point game. All you gotta do is get the ball back, and hey, you get another field goal. Hey, guess what? You're in the lead, and you thinking, well, what good is the field goal gonna do? Well, it gives you a sense of hope. You going up at a minimum 9-7 is much better than going down 14-3, right? You got to look for as much hope and energy as you can. I'd rather them gone and kick 3 field goals and went up 9-7 with the defense playing great. You know what I'm saying? But now that he kind of destroyed, and this all comes back to Dion. He destroyed any shot of that at the end of the half by running plays that make no sense. They didn't make them burn any timeouts, so they couldn't stop the clock. Realistically, you weren't going to score from that distance anyway. I think they were like inside their 5. You weren't going 95 yards. Let's be real. Um, and then to run plays that don't make them burn the timeouts and run the clock down, so they don't get another shot to get the ball back. It's just mind-boggling time management. It's very, very weird. I don't know what runs through this man's mind sometimes. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre. So anyway, it ends up being 14-3 at halftime instead of it being 7-3. They get the ball back. Nothing happens. What happens? And then they get into the third quarter. And the weirdest thing happened in the world that I don't think I've seen that I've seen that maybe a few times in my life watching college football. After Oregon State scored, they went for 2, which I kind of understand the philosophy behind it. So at the point of when they scored, it was 20-3, right? So that's 17. I think what the coach was thinking is that they go for 2 and it becomes 22-3, right? That essentially makes it where you have to either score 3 touchdowns. No, well, so yeah, essentially what it means is it's gonna force you to score 3 touchdowns, and you got to go for 2 at some point, right? Or you got to score 3 touchdowns and get a field goal. Very understandable. It's very different from 17. 17, you only got to get 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Very manageable with a whole quarter left, right? You know what I'm saying? Or even if you score, you go for 2, you score and go for 2, and then you score. You see what I'm saying? Like you don't have to make it as complicated. I'm making it more complicated than it is. But essentially, 17 points. You just got to score, kick the extra point twice, kick a field goal, 17 points. You play good defense. But at 22, that essentially means unless you're going to go for 3 times in a row, which the chance of you getting 3 2-point conversions in the game is the odds of that is astronomically low. That's like you talking about that's like the chance of an asteroid hitting us right now. It's like slim to none. The chance of that is just not going to happen. So what happens is they snapped the ball, and it was a high snap on the 2-point conversion, and it went over his head, and they ran it back for 2 points. And at that point, it's 20-5. 20-5. That's a very weird number for a football game. And then at that point, okay, it's 20-5. It's 15. You're in a perfect position because Colorado's run plenty of 2-point conversion plays this year. At 15, all you gotta do is score twice and all you gotta do is go for 2 one time. That's all you need. And obviously they didn't get to stop. They didn't get to stop. Oregon State scored again, and it became 26-5. Oh well, no, they scored again. It was 20-12, and then they gave up a touchdown. 26 wait, no, what was it? Yeah, it became 26-12 at that point. And then they get to that last drive I was talking about where they just took forever. At this point in the game, you got to move, man. You have to use your 2 minute offense and score as fast as possible. Because what happens is even with the 3 timeouts they had, if they had scored even a minute or two quicker, they would have enough time where say they get a first down, right? You would have enough time even if they killed all 3 of your timeouts. You'd have some chance of getting the ball back with time left. The problem is they try to push it all the way to the end of the game and then try to hope and pray that they get 3 stops. That's you can't coach on a prayer, man. You gotta have some strategy involved with this. And it seems like he struggles he seems like he struggles with adjustments and strategy. I mean, it's very blatant what it is. I mean, that's just how it is. Some coaches are not very good. Some coaches are not good tacticians. It just is what it is. Some guys are just better at just getting a whole bunch of talent. Some guys are just better. Some guys coach better when they just more like strength in numbers, right? Like I'm just going to out talent you, and that's very hard to do at the FBS level, especially in a Power Five conference. Um, even with the best talent in the world, you can't outcoach. Nick Saban, even he can't out talent everybody. That it can't happen. You have to make adjustments. You got to come up with some kind of strategy. Sometimes you got to use a little bit of common sense. Sometimes it feels like he's trying to overcompensate for stuff he can't do or it's not available to do. He coaches like he has the all the talent to do. Sometimes you got to coach within what you got, right? You got to use what you got. You know what I mean? They're they have a bad offensive line, granted that, but it's not because they're small. It's because part of it is just it's a talent thing, and these are like brand new guys, and sometimes it, offensive line is like one of the biggest parts of the team when you gotta gel together. You gotta be a cohesive unit. You can't be 5 individuals on the offensive line. You gotta be one solid wall, and that's something they got to work on in the offseason. That's not going to fix in 3 weeks. That's just nothing's going to change in 3 weeks. It's going to be the same team. So they're going to have to find something. They're going to have to start. They're going to have to run an offense that is conducive to it, and it can be done. There are plenty of teams that have offensive lines of the caliber of Colorado and win plenty of football games. It can be done. He just has to do it. He gonna have to stop trying to get Shador all these stats and numbers. That's that's wonderful. But no one gives a damn about his stats if you've lost 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. Because at this point, it's going to get to the point where they're going to go the route of Maryland. And I'm trying not to get too detailed into what my predictions are for next week, but this could get bad. There's no more, there's no, they didn't have any gimmies to begin with, but they're going to be underdogs the rest of the season. Let's just keep it at that. Let's just keep it a buck. They've been underdogs every game. I think they were slight favorites against Nebraska and Colorado State, and that's it. They haven't been favored since then, and they struggled against Nebraska for like a half, and they were in a slugfest with Colorado State. They went to double overtime. So yeah, man, I don't know. This has just been a oh man, it sucks though. Cause part of me is like, if I didn't do these recaps, the weekend wouldn't be well. I mean, the weekend would still be bad. Notre Dame and Maryland lost, but I was prepared for Maryland to lose. Notre Dame, that threw me by surprise. That was just they didn't show up to play, man. And then Colorado is just Colorado. Is they are who they are who they are. It is what it is. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching as always, and hopefully we can get back to this next week, and it'll be better. All right, peace.